to myself, what a wonderful world.
Okay, we are live. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sensational Saturday. Happy Celebration Saturday. We are celebrating Juneteenth this week. It is a holiday in the United States for those of you who are in the US that follow me. And so happy Juneteenth weekend. We don't have a universal greeting for that. I don't know that we should. I'm not necessarily advocating for one, but you know, on Memorial Day, at least on Memorial Day, I say thank you for your service. There's things that I actually acknowledge, you know, on holidays, but we don't really have one, and I don't know that we should. But for those of you who are celebrating, I encourage you to celebrate your freedom, which is one of the reasons why I picked this topic today, because when you own who you really are, that is a statement of your freedom. That is the ultimate freedom, to get to be who you really are, regardless of what everyone else is thinking or telling you or saying you should be. Looks like we need some light over here. Get some light over here. All right, well, it's a little bit light. All right, so I've got my couple things. You guys are going to be with me. I am training for a 5K, which I'm running on Juneteenth. You guys wish me luck. Snaps for me running on this 5K on Juneteenth. I will try to take some video and share with you how I do. It's just a 5K, not just a 5K. It's a 5K. Women always do that. We go, it's just, do you guys, I want you to realize when you go, it's just, or I just wanna, you're like minimizing what you're saying. I'm running a 5K. It's not just a 5K, it's a 5K. It's a challenge for me, and I'm proud of that fact. So I'm doing that on Monday. That's how I'm celebrating my freedom, is freedom to train and be the kind of person that I want to be from a fitness arena. So I was running this morning, and every time I come on here after I'm run, I feel like I'm just like a sweat box for the first 15 minutes of it. And I never get my routine done in time, and I'm always running a little bit behind. So y'all are going to be with me for a little bit for the next 1 or 2 minutes of my morning routine as I share that with you and go into our content for today. So I did not drink my collagen elixir. If you've seen my Friday faves, you know that I drink this collagen elixir. It's marine collagen done by Isogenics, which I am a brand ambassador for. So if you are interested in doing this, let me know. This is what keeps my youthful appearance. And it's good for hair, skin, nails. Nails are growing, see that? Hair, my bun, right? Luxurious, soft, right? It's good for all of those things. So if you're interested in any of these, I think if you look under my Friday faves, or you can DM me, I'll send you the link for you to order it. So it's marine collagen, plant-based, which is what I like. This actually tastes really good. I think I said that in my Friday faves. I'm not a drink liquid tonic kind of person. I have a very sensitive palate. If it's not good, I'm not going to drink it. I have a horrible gag reflex. It's terrible. So this is one of the things I like because it actually tastes good. So anyway, bottoms up. One a day keeps the dermatologist away. All right. Now that you've done that, we're going to talk about owning who you are. It's amazing to own who you are. It is freeing to own who you are. It is a wonderful example to set for your children. It's a wonderful example to set for other human beings in your life, that you are completely your most authentic and expressed, expansive self. One caveat to say about owning who you are is who you are, in the words of Hitch, is a very fluid thing. Human beings evolve, change, grow, at least you hope to, right? There's some things from a value statement that are constant, like threads throughout our life. Like, I'm a person of integrity. I'm never not going to be a person of integrity. I don't feel good about myself. I don't interact well with others who aren't in integrity, who don't do what they say, who don't do right by others, who are like putting themselves above others at the cost of others, not putting themselves above others. We all should choose us. I'm an advocate for that, but not at the cost of, or sacrificing, or throwing people under the bus. I'm a person of integrity. That's a thread. That's probably never going to change. Now, how I do that, whether I'm hammering integrity, like maybe I did that when I was younger. I was like the moral police and you can't do that and this is wrong. As opposed to now, I would say to people, you are free to choose. And you are also, that also means the consequences are yours and yours alone. And not that what you do doesn't have impact, and you should consider that, But remember that impact is a part of your consequences. So I wouldn't be hammering it. That's the evolution of how integrity looks for me. So it is an evolution. It's a very fluid thing. And I think that's important for us to acknowledge, because we kind of think owning who we are is I'm going to be the same today, yesterday, and forever. That's not always true. There are certain areas in your life where when it's a value statement, yeah, that will be ingrained in you. And then other things won't be. There are things that you'll change. As you age, things change. Maybe you were the type of woman that had your belly out and wore a belly ring and a belly chain. And as you age, you decide, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if that feels right for me anymore. Sometimes it's because of how you look, the baby. Sometimes it's because your value around your age is like, it's not what I want to do. Sometimes you might decide, now, I had a belly piercing. I don't do the piercing now, but I have a chain. Or now I don't do any jewelry around my midriff, or I don't show my midriff, but I do wear form-fitting things. How we express ourselves changes. It's very fluid. The key is, are you owning that, or are you allowing other people to decide that? If you wore belly rings in your 20s and you are still feeling like you're attractive looking that way, and crop tops and all that, and you still want to do that, and that is authentic for you, then you get to do that, because that's you owning it. Now, if you feel like all of your sisters and your grandmother and your friends and family are all like side-eyeing you, every time she comes over here, she got on some crop top and some belly chain. And so you then start to cover up because of what other people think. That's not owning who you are. That's you capitulating to what other people want and telling you who they think you should be. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I have a question for you, starting out the gate. How many people believe you are self-aware? Like, really, I'm self-aware. I do the work. I know what's what in my life. And I'm curious as to that. And I would love it if you guys drop that in the comments. Lemon water, lemon ginger, cinnamon water. Like I said, you guys are going to be with me on my routine today. So sharing with you guys, only 10 to 15% of people are self-aware around their identity. It's an interesting thing, right? There's billions of people on this planet, and only 10 to 15% of us actually have awareness around our own identity. We start the search for ourselves between 12 and 18, that middle school age. I think some psychologists once said, when your kids are young, you manage your children. And then as they get into middle school, you become a consultant. They no longer are asking you what you think, what they should wear, what they should do. They might be asking you for your opinion, but they're not asking for your permission per se, unless it's something that needs permission. But they're picking their own friends, they're picking their own music, they're picking the movies that they like. They're becoming mini human beings, like mini adults, so we begin that journey at a very young age, and understanding who you are gives you power. This is why this is such a topic that's important to my heart. It gives you power. It allows you to distinguish yourself from others, to become comfortable with what makes you uniquely you. How many of you find yourself in different places, spaces, and you don't actually feel like you are yourself, right? You feel like you're part of a herd. No one would notice you. You don't want to stand out. Moreover, you question the herd. You're like, why are they doing this? I don't agree with this. But I found myself I want people to think of owning themselves as iterative. There are places where you may fully own who you are and places where you don't. I've been in places, workspaces, professional spaces in particular, I think is probably where I see it the most in my life, where you think to yourself, I don't exactly know why they're doing this, and I'm not even sure I agree with it, but you silence that. And I'm not saying you should be a naysayer all the time and always bucking the system. And there are professional and appropriate ways where you can ask really good questions and challenge the status quo. But in those spaces, I find that I'm more like listening, taking it in and going, I don't agree with that. That's not what I want to do. I'm not understanding that. Instead of offering the unique value of my perspective and saying, or asking good questions, why are we doing this? Here's what I think. Have we considered this? You don't know when you are in touch with and own your unique gifts, you have the power to shift things in a mighty, mighty way. But if you're going to sit on all that power, all those gifts, all those talents, nothing shifts in your life. You just kind of go with whatever the wind blows. So understanding who you are gives you like the ultimate power and freedom, because you get to change the trajectory of your life instead of waiting for or relying on other people to do it. The other reason why this is important is because if you don't, you live in constant confusion. So what do I mean by that? Ultimately, you take on a similar personality to a parent, a peer, or other individuals around you, or a personality designed by those individuals around you so that it meets their needs. And you don't develop and therefore have an appreciation for who you are and your uniqueness in your adult life. You don't develop that skill, that capability. Ultimately, that has you end up playing the blame game. And for many of us, it creates a lot of shame because we know who we want to be and we're not doing it. We're not her. We're not him. We're not stepping up. We're not changing things. We're going along to get along, and it doesn't feel good. It feels shameful, especially when you really recognize it. Sometimes we don't recognize it, right? Sometimes we're not in touch with, this is that self-aware. You got to figure if only 15% of us know who we really are, that means the other 90 to 85% of us don't. We're going along to get along, and it feels icky, right? We feel guilt, we feel shame, we end up projecting blame onto people because we know something's not right, but we might not be able to put our hand on what we need to do. So it is important for you to own who you are, because when you don't own who you are, you become the amalgamation of the people around you. And when you become the amalgamation of people around you, you end up serving their life goals, serving their needs, their wants, their wishes, and all of your stuff is on the back burner because you're not even who you really were sent here to be. You're not even yourself. So how can you be serving your wants, needs, and wishes in the mix? So that's important. Ooh, let me take some water here. I am the queen of things going down the wrong way. This is like the third time this has happened this week. I once had somebody I worked with say, you choke like that, like really bad, like once a week. I was like, really? He was like, yeah. I think I talk too fast and then wind goes down the wrong way. All right. So what do you need to do to own who you are as a person? Right? It's an ongoing process. You're never going to get there. You're never going to finish. It's never complete. Let me take one more sip. It sounds like I just caught a severe cold here. Might have also been those lemon, when you grind up lemon, this is blended lemon ginger water. So there's like pulp in it. I might have also gotten one of those stuck somewhere. All right. So the first thing we need to do in this ongoing process is self-reflection. I think for a lot of us, that's really challenging. You have to be honest with yourself. And for a lot of us, we have not done that. We have not acknowledged the contribution that we have been in our own lives, that the choices we made are a direct reflection of where we are today. Choices you made 10 years ago, 5 years ago, last year, 3 days ago are a reflection of where you are right now today. And you made those choices. You made those decisions. You took those actions. And so the consequences belong to you. And for some of us, really taking a hard look at that is hard. It's really painful, right? So I wrote down a movie here to think of it. I don't know if any of you ever saw Runaway Bride. The title says it all, Runaway Bride. I think in the movie, I can't remember. I feel like it was at least 3 men that on her wedding day, she ran away from, right? I think it was at least 3. I don't remember. I saw this movie a long time ago. But here's what one gentleman said to her at one point. And I'm sorry if this is a spoiler. So spoiler alert, I'm about to give a piece of it away, is that she didn't know who she was, and what she had done would become what the men wanted. She didn't know what she liked. She didn't know what she did like. She didn't know what she was. And when the rubber met the road to come and spend her life with somebody, the consequences of being someone else for the rest of her life, because she was married to them, she was not having it. So I want you to think about that and see yourself in that story in some way, when if you don't really know who you are, if you're not being your full self in any relationship, mother, daughter, father, son, sister to sister, sister to brother, parent to child, if you're not really being your full self, the prospect of being with people, spending time with people, engaging with people is uncomfortable, because you don't get to be you. It sucks to have to go to a family reunion and pretend something for 3 hours or 3 days, if that's the family reunion weekend, or to go on a date with a new partner, and the energy that you expend is exhausting, because the entire time he's thinking you're a particular type of woman and you are not, and you are keeping up that facade. Or to pretend to your children, if you're going through a divorce, that everything is okay, when everything is really not okay. And I'm not saying unload on your children and use your children as therapy. I'm saying it's okay to let your children see that you are sad, and that you are hurt, and that you are working through it. That's a very healthy thing, because they are sad, they are hurt, and they will need to work through it. And you can do that together. Pretending takes a lot of energy. It is friggin' exhausting. It's exhausting. For some of you, the reason you're tired all the time is because you pretend all the time. There is no place in your life where you're not really fully you. There is no place in your life where you are free. And not to tie this back to Juneteenth, but this just occurred to me in a moment, how there are so many places in this country and so many different groups of people. African Americans, that's what this holiday is about, fighting for, us getting free. And then once we get free, we don't do the work, the self-reflecting to find out, what does our freedom mean? What is not being free cost us? And what are we willing to do to maintain our freedom? And who are we willing to become now that we have the freedom to become what we truly want? We don't do that work. You have the freedom in your life to become who you truly are. In fact, you were born to do it. This is like there is no other mission. You're born, go forth and become who you were meant to be, and be the contribution that you were meant to contribute. That's it. That's your only job. You come here, however you believe you got here, whatever evolution theory you believe, whatever spiritual theory you believe, you came, and almost all of them say you came to be self-actualized. You came to be who you really are, to be a contribution to this planet. That's it. It's our one job. And yet we allow so many other people to dictate what that looks like for us, right? So this is like the ultimate freedom that you have, being who you really are. But it takes a lot of self-reflection, looking at your values, looking at your beliefs, your interests, your strengths, your challenges or weaknesses, your preferences, your wants, your needs, your wishes, things you dislike, things you want to change. Do you spend the time to really own who that is? What's your perspective on a particular thing? I was talking with someone not too long ago, and they said that they asked a person what they thought, and they kept saying, well, do whatever you want to do. And they're like, of course I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm asking for your perspective. Have a point of view. I want your point of view. They didn't have a point of view, because the point of view that they usually adopt is the point of view of whoever they're talking to, right? Don't be that person. Take some time and reflect. If someone asks you a question and you don't have to answer right away, sit with it. In the movie Runaway Bride, there is a point where she sits with herself, where she actually takes the time to get to know herself. Your divorce, your breakup, your life transition, and whether it was a career breakup, right, from your old job, you moved to a different city, Life transition is an opportunity for you to pause, breathe, and take a moment. Take a moment. I need to take a moment. One of my other shows I'm revisiting is Ally McBeal, which I remember when that show was. I used to love that show, and so I'm rewatching it on Hulu when I get a chance. I don't watch a lot of TV, so I don't know when I'll ever finish it. One of my favorite characters is John Cage. He's a quirky an attorney on there. I love his quirks, but one of the things he acknowledges is, I need to take a moment. And he takes a moment when he's upset, when he's angry, or when he just needs to pull back. But he says it to people. And when people do it to him, he goes, you took a moment. I saw that. You took a moment. He notices when they take a moment. There's nothing wrong with taking a moment. If somebody asks you something, to do something, to be something, to express something, your opinion about something, your perspective about something, you get to take a moment. You don't have to answer them right away. You can think about what you want to say, who you want to be in this moment, and actually be the person you were born to be instead of the person you were programmed to be, instead of the person you were told to be, instead of the person you are expected to be by others. You get to be you. All right. So self-reflection, super important. And in particular, because only 10 to 15% of the population do it. Are you in the 10 to 15%? I'd like to see that number get up to flip the script, where 90% of the people have self-reflection, self-awareness. If 90% of the people do that, do you know we would have a completely different energy on this planet? That there would be more compassion, more love, more forgiveness, more tolerance, because you would get to be you. So you would respect when someone else wanted to be them. You wouldn't be trying to shove your agenda down somebody else's throat. You know, they wouldn't be trying to shove theirs. They would appreciate it if you were a no. You would appreciate their no's. You appreciate their yeses more because you know they're only doing it if they really want to do it. It would completely change the energy on the planet because you are free to be you. When you're free, when I'm free to be me, you are your most compassionate, loving, creative, thoughtful, engaging, energetic, optimal self, because there's freedom in that. You get to do the thing that you were born to do, but that takes self-reflection. It takes self-reflection. And if 10 to 15% of the population are the ones that are doing it, that's why we are where we are. Let's shift that number. Let's jump it up to the 50%, to the 60, to 70, to 80, to 90. And we will change that. I'm telling you, we would transform the energy, the outcomes on this planet. Like literally, immediately. If it happened tomorrow and everybody was like so self-aware, it would shift. Things would shift. All right. Having said that, the next step of owning who you are is embracing who you are without judgment. We don't do this either. So this means embrace who you are and where you are. Embrace who you are and what you are not. It means all that you are, all that you are not, all that you want to become, all that you're choosing not to become. It's all of it. It's embracing all of it. Not cherry picking, you know, I like that I'm 5'3¼ I like my height, right? I'm good with that, right? I wish my eyelashes were longer, you know, but I can embrace my eyelashes aren't longer. And I wish they are longer, but not from judgment. I wish my eyelashes were longer. I feel so self-conscious about that. That's like riding my case. It doesn't look good. I'm not attractive. Without long eyelashes, I am not something. And I feel not worthy of something versus I don't have long eyelashes and I can buy them now. I can get them put on now. I can, you can buy them. You can buy lashes at the drugstore. You can go and have them put on. You can buy mascara that lengthens them. There's a lot of things I can do to remedy that. My eyelashes don't make or break my self-worth. So I'm going to be with the what so. I don't have really long eyelashes. I don't. I'm growing them. I take care of them. I love them where they are. I'm trying to nurture them so they grow a little longer. I should do that on a Friday faves. I have a couple of different serums I'm using for that. They actually have gotten a lot longer, but I don't think that my genetic makeup is going to allow them to get but so much longer. And I got to love that too. It's where I am. And this could be about anything, one of my favorite comedians always talks about his anger. And he's working on it. Here's what I love about it. One, he's working on it. He gets it. He knows it. but he uses it as part of his comedy. He uses it. It's not, I'm sure he feels some kind of way about it. I'm not going to go so far to speak for him to say that it's not something he struggles with. He talks about his struggle with it, but in his ownership of it, it's a part of his comedy. He talks about how he works through it in therapy. He talks about it. He's owning it. There's a journey there with him and his anger. It's not anything he's hiding. It's not something people don't know about him. It's not something people he pretends with people that he's not this guy, right? It's something he works through. That's what it means to own it. And you got to give yourself grace on the journey. You got to give yourself grace on the journey. It's a journey. Everybody's not going to be perfect at everything all at once. It doesn't work that way, right? I haven't seen the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. So if it does work that way, don't tell me. Let me find out. And then I'll come back on here and I'll correct myself. Oh my gosh. All right. So you get to embrace who you are without judgment, right? You get to embrace your entire self. And one of the things I love about that is in Harry Met Sally, right? Embracing your entire self. So Sally, one of my favorite things about her is the way she orders food. And there's a point where he was like, your high maintenance versus low maintenance. And he tells her she's high maintenance because of the way she orders food, which is very descriptive. And in the end, you know what she says? I just want what I want. And he goes, exactly, high maintenance, but that's his opinion. She did not let that stop her or change the way she ordered. She was going to order her food the way she wanted because she wants what she wants. She owned it, right? She embraced it without judgment. She didn't allow herself to be persuaded. This is who I am. This is how I do my thing. This is how I order my food. I want what I want. It is what it is. All right. So that's number 2. Embrace who you are without judgment. Give yourself grace. You got here because of the sum total of your experiences and your decisions. Now that you know where you are, give yourself grace. You did what you did back then because it was the best that you could do. And now that you know better, you can make different choices, right? Or now that you know different, I won't even say better. Now that you know different, you can make different choices. So you get to do that, but give yourself grace. Some of us, we didn't know what we didn't know back then. And so you did what you did from what you knew and you didn't know much. Give yourself grace. Let yourself off the hook. Acknowledge where you are, what you did, how far you've come, and that now you know something different. You get to make different choices and own where you are on that journey because you get to have what you want. You get to have it the way you want it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. So play and explore your preferences. So I would encourage everybody, when you have these one day off holidays, when you have your vacation or take a vacation, or maybe plan some time off for yourself, where you actually give yourself permission to play, try new things, and explore your preferences. It's not just self-reflection. You have to do some engagement with yourself. You have to actually play, explore, discover, try on, and figure out what feels good. In particular, this is helpful for people going through a life transition, such as a divorce or breakup, because so much of our life was dictated by our partner, our children, and our role as wife and mother, right? If you're a man watching this, as husband, father. And so because of what you thought was expected of you, you did those things, whether you wanted to or not, whether you agreed with them or not, whether you even had a sense of it was right for your family or not. We go along to get along a lot when we're in partnership. This is an opportunity for you to play and see, maybe that's not really what you want to do, right? Maybe you don't like, brunch. Maybe you hate it. Maybe you're like, look, I'm a dinner guy. I'm a grill guy. This is what I like. Or a grill woman. I like to cook food over an open fire or whatever. However you that. Maybe you've never liked going to the in-laws. Now you don't have to, and you can say no. But you know what? I know people who will still go to these family functions that they absolutely hate, that'll do things that they absolutely hate, just to keep the continuity. Now, I'm saying if you're doing that out of a sense of vision, then that is who you are, because your commitment is to vision, and that matters. But if you're doing things because everybody else expects you to do them, and you could really, this is not what you want to do, you aren't committed to a vision, you really don't need to be there, you don't understand why you're there, everybody's making you feel guilty, and you are going, well, son of a, I got to go to this thing again, then don't go. Why are you going? Why are you doing what you're doing if it isn't something that fills you up and makes you feel alive? And you get to explore these things. Take the risk and don't go to something. Take a risk and go to something. Try some stuff on. You might discover that you really like it. So when I got my divorce, you guys, I did a lot of cool, fun things. One of them was I took trapeze lessons. And by the way, those people are friggin' amazing, amazing. Trapeze work requires a lot of upper body strength, and strength with muscles you don't think. Now, when I took this, I was probably in really good shape. Not the best shape of my life, but pretty close to it. I was working out 6 days a week, doing a lot of strength training. I think I was doing Insanity at the time. So I was really like, I was on it. I was good. And so she started us off with some yoga moves, chaturanga, and some stretches and some stuff. I cannot tell you, this part of my arm, I don't know what we did. It was killing me. And I mean, for like a week, not like 2 days, not like, oh, that 24-hour. No, I mean like a week. It was so I could barely type anything on the computer. It was so painful. And then I fell off the trapeze, knocked the wind out of myself. That sucked. And so I was sore all on my rib cage. And I mean, we had a bouncy floor. It was fine. It wasn't. The artistry in what they do with their physicality was really freaking amazing. So what did I learn? Some things look easy and are really hard. Some things are for some people and not for other people. I really discovered what I have is an appreciation for the trapeze work, but I didn't want to work that hard in my workouts and to do it. So I didn't do it. Now, I will go and see Cirque du Soleil and have a deeper appreciation for that kind of artistry, but it's not what I wanted to do. Now, so that was one thing that I explored, because I was really thinking of, I want to do something, you know, kind of extreme and blah, 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 blah. And that was my, I know, I'll take trapeze lessons. That's different. I've never done that, and I've always wanted to do it. You get to play with these preferences. What I discovered is it wasn't mine. That was a pretty benign one, but you can play with any preference. I love working out. I always did. I did not do that when I was married. It was very spotty. And now I work out 6 to 7 days a week. I almost probably 7. There's no day that I don't hit at least 10K steps a day. And I'm always doing something to keep me physically active. I like the way I feel when I work out. I wasn't in touch with that when I was married. That is an excellent example of figuring out your preferences. And I do, you guys know I love Zumba, but I also do strength training. I do ballet bar work. I run. I've just told you I'm doing a 5K. I do different things. I've tried CrossFit. I would like to try an Orange Theory workout. Go to the gym and just see what it's like, see how I feel about it. I'm open to different things in that arena, but I get to play with that. There's no right way or wrong way to work out. There's no right or wrong thing to do. And I get to do it on my own and on my own terms. And so do you. So explore your preferences, whatever they are. It doesn't matter, but you get to explore your preferences. Once you know what your preferences are, now you get to set boundaries. And I'm glad I picked the example of working out, because the boundary that I set is, and I tell you guys this all the time, is I don't miss my workouts. If I have to miss a Zumba class, it's rare. From the teachers that I love, it's rare. It means I have something that I am maybe more committed to, but there's not a lot that I'm more committed to. I mean, you know, my daughter's grown and all that. So there's, you know, and I'm committed to her. But there's not a lot, and I'm committed to the things I've said yes to my commitments. That's that integrity piece. If I said yes and there's a conflict, I will capitulate and own my yes. But I don't miss those things that are important to me. I set boundaries because that matters to me. Working out matters to me. It's also why I work out typically in the morning. It matters to me. If I let the day go by, I get embroiled in doing different things. I like to connect with people. I'll start talking. I'll get on the phone and talk with friends or clients or whatever. And then the next thing I know, it's 9 o'clock and I haven't gotten my workout in. That's never going to happen to me, because I prioritize and I said, I get up every day and I move before I do anything else. I get my groove on, my move on, my workout on, and then I can do the rest of my day. I'm free to do that. That's a boundary. And I don't miss workouts for anybody. And I will invite anybody to a workout, but if you don't show up, I show up because I'm showing up for me. I'm not, you get the benefit of me showing up for me, and then I'll show up for you. But if you're going to not show up, then you don't get that benefit. I'm still going to show up and do my thing. So you get to set boundaries around those things. Once you discover who you really are and what you're committed to, then your boundaries just flow naturally as a byproduct of that. And then it gets to be really easy. And then here comes the best part, right? You get to enjoy the new you, and you get to practice being free, sharing the new you with those who love and support you. This is where the rubber meets the road. Because it's one thing for me to be all about working out when I'm doing it by myself. And then the minute somebody invites me to the Cheesecake Factory for lunch, I'm like, oh, well, I don't see them a lot and I'm going to go and do this, instead of just saying, hey, can we move it, 90 minutes forward? I don't want to miss my workout. Or can we change it from lunch to dinner because I've got a class at that time and I want to connect with you guys and do this workout, like taking a stand for the and. That's setting a boundary and still honoring what I want to do with my friends. It's not like you're you don't have to be like hardcore and it's my way or the highway. Setting boundaries are for you. They're not for other people. It's about you honoring you. So you can honor you and do that and still enjoy the new you and share the new you with that. People will notice. My friends know, like, oh my gosh, you're always working out. I admire you for doing that. People will notice that I do that. And the people that really love me admire me for being who I really am, right? Because I'm sharing it with them. I already told them, I have this commitment around being physical or getting fit. I have a class at this time. Can we move? They know what I'm up to. My family knows. They don't call me. They know that I'm going to Zumba class. And they'll leave me messages. Oh, shoot, you're probably in class. All right, well, call me when you get out of class. I have friends that do that. Oh, snap, girl, I know you're probably out working out. I'll call me when you get out, when you get done from your workout. They respect it. Some call me and say, will you work out with me? Right? Because I'm being who I really am. I'm not pretending on the down low that I just naturally stay in great shape. I don't naturally, it's very at a certain age, there's very few people who naturally stay in shape. They are doing something to maintain their health. And maybe all they're doing is eating really healthy. There are plenty of people who just eat really, really well and look really fabulous. I try to do a combination of both. I eat really, really well. I probably eat really well 60-40. I need to get that up to like 80-20, to be honest. I need to be eating well 80%. At one point, I was 90-10. Like only 10% of my diet was like maybe a cheat day. It might have been like one meal a week. Like I was really good about it. Now I'm 60-40. I got to bump that number up. And that was the reason also why I took on the challenge, because when you have something to look forward to, you gotta step up your game. But you get to enjoy you. And the more you enjoy you, the more others will enjoy you, and you will attract people to you that enjoy you for the real you, not for the you that you're pretending to be. The more you enjoy you, the more others will enjoy you, the more you'll have a life you enjoy. All right. That's why, Diva, you got to own who you are. You have to. You are not free if you don't. You belong to, are controlled by, manipulated by others when you are not owning who you really are. All right. Hope this was helpful for you guys. That's what I got for you today. If this was helpful for you, my ask is that you always share it out. Share it out with someone who needs it. And again, not from the judgy place, but hey, I heard this. I thought it was great, really helped me. Maybe it'll help you. Maybe there's something we can do together. All right. So not sure if you guys have seen, I got 2 things going on. I'm so psyched. I'm so stoked about it. So the first thing is I do intensives every summer. I do not have a lot of them. I've got about 5 or 6 of them peppered over the summer. If you are interested in doing an intensive with me, please click the link. I will drop the link. What is an intensive, or what am I talking about, right? It's a VIP day. It's a VIP day. You and me, mano a mano, where we take a deep dive into whatever it is you want to transform. Your health and well-being story, you want to get past your divorce, you want to get over him for good. That's where we go. You want to revamp your finances and figure out how to create your own economy. That's where we go. You want to rebrand your feminine essence and own who you really are. That's where we go. It is a VIP day dedicated to you. Why is this important? So I'm going to tell you why. You guys have probably heard me give this speech, but I'm going to give it again because it bears repeating. I advocate for people to hire professionals. Why? Because everyone else in your life has skin in your game. Your kids, your ex, your mother, your father, your sisters, your brothers, your friends. They all give you well-meaning advice, but it impacts them. What you choose, the results ultimately impact them. If you get free and suddenly you're out living your life like it's golden, that friend may not be comfortable with that. If you get free and you start really telling your family, these are the boundaries about what I'm going to do, your family might not appreciate that, right? If you get free and you start telling your ex that, this is the way that I'm going to parent in my household. Let's find a way for us to parent in the same manner, honoring where we are, so we keep the same rules, but we are going to have different styles. We don't have the same household. And we need to have that conversation so we're on the same page with our kids. And before you were doing whatever he said, because he said it, he's not going to be digging that, right? He may not be digging that. Professionals, trainers, coaches, counselors, nutritionists are about you. They are all about you. You, right? That's what you need to shift you forward, because you get to take a deep dive into you, see you, have someone else see and witness you and move you forward based on your agenda. That's a VIP day. And not to toot my own horn, beep, 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 right? I am excellent at that. My greatest strength, well, one of them. This is me owning who I am, by the way, just so you know. I am here for you. In the Strengths Finder assessment, one of my top 2 strengths are relator and connector. I can connect the dots on anything that you've been going through and see the thread through your whole life, girl. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. And I am a relator. I am going to get us so connected where I really see who you are, that you are going to be able to trust me in such a short time that we're going to be able to shift and move mountains. Your transformation happens the minute you sign up. The minute you sign up, that's what a VIP day is about. And my third top strength, by the way, is strategic. I'm strategic. You're going to leave with a plan. I'm not going to leave you hanging. It's not going to be all about we're going to relate and woo, woo, woo and all that. We are going to do that. I am going to get you connected and help you see the big divine plan for your life. But also, you're going to leave with a strategic plan for you to implement, because that's what's up. That's what I do. You want to be in a VIP day with me. You want to be it. Give yourself the gift of discovering, owning, being who you really are. Book a VIP day. I don't have a lot because I don't keep a lot. It's summer. I want to have a good time too. Book a VIP day and let's talk. If you have questions, there's a Q&A link on the VIP day page. Book a Q&A session, and I'll put a Q&A link in the link to this, into the comments, into this as well. You want to do that. Now, not quite sure you're ready for a VIP day, but you want to I want to hang out with this chick. She's good. She's cool. She's good people. I like the cut of her jib. We're vibing. I like what she's saying. I need to be empowered. Not quite sure where to start. Got you there too. I am doing a Who Do You Think You Are challenge. Whoop, whoop. This is going to be fun. So you want to really own who you are. You want to dive into who you think you are. You want to figure out, you want to discover, you want to embrace, you want to embody the new you. Join the Who Do You Think You Are challenge. It starts June 26th. It's free, $99. It is complimentary. My gift to you is going to be run in my group, not on my page. So you'll join the Divorce Divas group. You're going to really love it. It's going to be excellent. I will drop the link to that in that. You want to get in on these, You have ways to access me in many ways. Trust me, Diva, I got you. If you are going through a divorce and you're ready to reinvent and reclaim your life, this is for you. Either one of these opportunities for you. This is going to help you reclaim and own who you are so that you have the skills, the power, the energy, the essence to claim who you really are and reinvent your life in a manner that is meaningful to you. You get to have the life you were born to live, and you get to have it now, not tomorrow, not 3 weeks from now, right now. All right, so I'm going to drop the links to all of those things in the comment section. I would love to see you guys in either of those programs. If you do nothing else, join the challenge, because I think it'll be fun. It'll be worth it. We're going to talk about your passions. We're going to talk about your power. We're going to talk about your feminine energy. We're going to talk about getting you connected to yourself and to others. It is going to be a blast. There will be prizes. There will be a good time. There will be buttons.
That was easy.
Right? There's going to be a good time. There's going to be magic. I got my magic wands over here, right? Oh, my magic is out? No, my magic is never out, right? There's going to be magic, right? So there's going to be magic, buttons, wands, fun, prizes, joy, excitement. You want to get in on this. Get in on this. All right? Doesn't cost you anything but your time. Bring your time, bring your excitement, bring your energy, bring your open heart. And let's get it done. Let's have you embody, embrace who you really are. I will see you on the other side. I will see you next Saturday as we move forward for connection, for coffee coaching and connection. I haven't had coffee in the past few months. No, not months, and maybe 3 sessions. I haven't done the coffee thing because I'm doing the lemon ginger water thing because I'm running this race. After Monday, I'm back to my coffee. Well, maybe. Y'all know I'm committed to health, and well-being. Anyway, I will see you next Saturday on coffee, coaching, and conversation. I will see you in the week throughout on the page. Please DM me with your questions. Oh, I had a question today. Y'all know I get to run in my mouth and I forgot everything. Let me answer my question. All right. There's a question from a group that I participate in, and I thought it was a really good question for divorce divas. And so I thought I would share this question and then give my response to it. So the person says that they're really struggling with the "it's not fair" syndrome. They've been divorced for over 10 years. Sorry, I gotta pull this up so I can read this. They've been divorced for over 10 years, and the ex has been with someone since their divorce, probably a little before their divorce. In fact, she believes that this was the person that he cheated on her with. Her children, which were both girls, were pretty young at the time. And so the girl, the person that he's with now, has been a part of their lives since they were very young. So since she was the one that was really hurt, she didn't really date. She says, I didn't date. But finally found a guy I really like, and now it feels like it's too late. Her eldest daughter, who is 15, doesn't really care, but she has an 11-year-old who's having a really hard time letting this gentleman into their lives. She feels like the 11-year-old feels like this gentleman is taking the mother away from her and just doesn't want to spend time with him. She says, I've tried to be really patient and understanding with her, but it's not getting any better. She doesn't have a problem with him. She just doesn't want to do stuff together. It just doesn't seem fair that her dad gets to be happy with someone that he basically cheated on me with, and she won't accept someone into our lives for me to be happy because I missed some window or something while I was sad about what her dad was doing and didn't want to date anyone. This is an excellent question because I think this comes up a lot for a lot of women, and the person, I'm not going to give the person's name. They wish to remain anonymous. So I'm not going to give the person's name. All right. So here's my thoughts about that. One, I would say this: you will lose power. You lose power in the transaction. Let me check my words. You lose power when you start comparing yourself to other people, right? Her father gets to have this and I don't get to have this. I know it feels like that. It's not true. It's a story you're telling yourself. And we always start telling ourselves stories about what we think someone else has versus what we have when we don't have what we want. You don't have what you want, just stick with that. You start comparing them. Well, he cheated on me and he gets to do this. It just is going to bring up old emotions that have nothing to do with what's going on. The real issue is that you don't have the vision of a new family dynamic with this man that you want. That's what the issue is. And if you start comparing that to the father's journey, it's just going to piss you off even more. So take him out of the equation, leave him alone, leave him out of that equation, because that's always going to be really, really hurtful. When you start comparing, his journey is not his journey. You don't, and also if they've been in the girls' lives, you don't know what happened over there behind closed doors. And he probably will never tell you if they had problems. We don't know. I don't know the backstory, so we don't know. And I know, I'm sure, even for the girls, it may not have been a perfect transition. I will say this, though. I think the dynamic is different when the children are the same sex as who the parent is dating. So if the father is dating a woman and he has a daughter, I think that's a much easier connection. If the mother's dating a man and she has a son, I think it's an easier connection because it's the same sex connection. You have other things in common besides the parent. It was easier for me, and I got the gambit. I told you, I'm a divorce official. I'm the official sponsor of divorce. Oh my God. So I come from divorce, so I know of what I speak. I related to my father's girlfriends much easier than I related to my mother's boyfriends, much easier. And I had more issues with my father and his role being in and out of my life than my mother. My mother was the constant. So if anything, I lived with my mother most of that time, except for I think the last few years of high school. So I lived with my mother. It was a different, we had a great relationship and a good dynamic. My father was the one that you could say I had more challenges with, but because he was dating women and I could relate to women as a girl, it was easier. These were ladies. They were grown-ups. They did hair and makeup or went to the movies, or they did things that I like to do. It just was an easier relationship to build. Women also don't feel as threatening to me as a girl. A man feels uncomfortable. Think about it. If you're a girl and you're in middle school, or even this is a grown ass man. Why you wouldn't have, if it wasn't for the fact that he was dating your mother, you would have nothing to do with him. Nothing. Because little girls don't have a bunch of stuff to do with grown ass men who aren't their fathers. They just don't. It's an awkward relationship to begin with, right? So you have to give your girls in this particular case, or your children in either case, the opportunity to just get to know them with no pressure, right? No pressure, and give them space to do it on their own terms and their own time. You just do. It's just awkward. You have to acknowledge that it's just awkward, and don't make it about what your ex is getting to have versus you. Y'all may get there, but it's not going to be on the way your ex did it. It's not going to be on his timeline. It has, you got the luck of the draw where you guys had girls instead of boys. If you had boys, it might have been easier for you and harder for him. Like all of those things, like that's why you can't compare. It's too many variables in the mix to make it about that. We want to make it about that because we're still pissed off about the cheating, about the marriage ending, about whatever else he did in this past week that's pissed you off. But it doesn't serve you. It's a disempowering thought. If you're dating someone and it's the opposite sex relationship, you have girls and you're dating a gentleman, then you got to give the gentleman and the girls chance to get to know each other, neutral territory. So not always in your home. Do things outside of the house together with each other, neutral territory, and allow them to have the space and take the pace in a way that feels comfortable. There doesn't need to be any pressure on the guy or the girl for things to evolve. This is a relationship you're talking about. You can't force this guy to be a parental figure or a role model if they don't think of him that way. They have to think of him that way, which means they have to see him in a lot of different arenas and have an experience of him instead of you just telling them what a good man he is and how he's good to you. That's about you. That has nothing to do with these girls. That has nothing to do with your kids. They have to have their own experience of a significant other for them to make a decision about how he fits into their lives, not just your life. And then there's the our life. My mom, my sibling, and me. And that's not an easy thing to do at any age. It might be easier when they're kids because children are more open in general. By the time you're in middle school or high school, they're forming their own opinions about things. We just talked about that. The identity starts between 12 and 18. They're deciding what they like, what they don't like, and that includes your new beau. It includes your new beau. And if you think about it, flip the script. You don't like all of their friends at this age either. You think some little girl that she's got friends with is obnoxious or hot to trot or rude or is a manipulator or whatever. You're going to think that they're not every date that they have is great. I don't like this boy. I don't like the way he treats you. You're going to have an opinion about the people in their life too. And you get to model for her in this particular instance, how you want her to receive your comments and your opinion. I know you're the parent and she is the child, and ultimately you have the say. But there is a point where you're going to have to teach your kids to be discerning about who they choose instead of you telling them who they can choose. They have to practice that, and they have to feel safe enough to make those decisions, and they have to have their own experiences. If you don't let them have their own experiences, they won't know the signs, the red flags. They won't have any data to make those decisions. And that's what identity is really all about, is figuring that out. And the way you model that is giving your kids the freedom and the space to do the same with you. I like this guy and I would like for you to meet this guy, and let's do things with this guy together because I would like for you to get to know him because I think this guy might be in my life, and give her the time and the space. And just like you may not like every one of her friends and every one of her boyfriends or girlfriends that she brings home, she may not like this guy. And that's got to be okay, because the guy isn't for her. The guy is for you. If it works out, the guy fits and she likes him, and the guy is for your family. Like sometimes you pick a guy and he's amazing. He was God handpicked the guy and put him in your life. He is the perfect role model / stepdad. Your kids love him. Your family loves him. He loves you, and it works out really good. And sometimes you got people that are in one camp or another. He's okay. I sort of like him. I don't like him. He's good to my mom. That's all I care about. He and I don't vibe together. We don't really have anything in common. That's what happens. And the script is going to be flipped with anybody in your life. She may have the same in her life as she grows older. So don't force this relationship. Also, some kids, and I'm not saying that this is the case with this particular situation, have a sixth sense about people. And so sometimes your kid is picking up on something that you're missing because you got the love goggles on. And so if you create this open context, you can also get, the benefit of having an open dialogue with your kid about what they like and what they don't like. And they will feel safe to tell you what they've observed or what they've experienced or what has transpired between them and the gentleman in question. And you want that. Trust me, ladies, you want that. I have heard horror stories about women letting men into their lives too soon, and they had the love goggles on or the lonely goggles on and didn't want to be alone. And this man was not good for their children in a horrific way. So I say all that to say, slow walk it. Give yourself the space and the freedom to let your kids get to know the gentleman in question or any person that you're dating, so that they have space to share with you where they are, how they're feeling, what they've observed over time. If you force the relationship, they'll be there, but they'll be shut down. And if anything happens, they will never tell you. They will never tell you because they don't think you're going to listen, and they do not think you will believe them. And you want them to come to you. You want them to be able to tell you, and you want to know what's going on. You do. All right. that's what I got on that question. That was great. If you have any thoughts about that question, put your comments in the comments. I'd like to hear what other people think who've gone through divorce, or if you've gone to this scenario, what would be your thoughts on this? All right. Happy Sensational Saturday. Happy Celebration Saturday. It's truly a celebration. I hope you celebrate your freedom this week. I hope you take advantage of being free to be you this weekend and enjoy the rest of your weekend and the sunshine. I will see you guys around the superhighway. Have a great day.
I think to myself, what a wonderful world.